All right. So I wanted to share out my social media things, but it looks like there's a Cloudflare outage of some kind. If I go to twitter.com, it doesn't work. If I go to x.com, it loads but doesn't load my feed. So I don't know what's happening. Hopefully this doesn't cause us any problems today with the stream. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. um, okay. So today I'm going to continue testing WordPress 6.9. I want to focus specifically today on block bindings updates. So there are a couple of things. There is a where is it? No, block improvements, block bindings improvements. There we go. So there's a couple of updates that have come out recently. Apparently the date block has block binding support. The image block allows binding of the caption. And then there's also some improvements on the server. You can filter block binding supported attributes by block type. Allows developers to customize which of the block's attributes can be connected to block binding source. On the editor side, you can register custom sources by adding a get field list method. And there's some example code of how this all works. So I think today I'm just going to go through each one of these and just see if I can figure out what it's all about. I think this is the main tracking issue. Caption binding to the image block, binding to the date block. There's some bug fixes. So let's open up date block, image block. And let's see what's what. Date block accept and manually set date. So I guess this would be new post, insert date block and modified date. In the code editor, the markup should look like that. Go back to the visual editor, set the post publish date to an earlier date, publish the post in the front end. It looks something like that. Reload. So now I should start using block bindings. Make the date block accept and manually set date independent of the current post. Okay. So let's go and create a post and see. So I've already got my local environment set up with 6.9 RC1. So that should be all the latest and greatest stuff. So let's test this out. So let's create a post. And let's say this is testing date block bindings. And then so we're going to add date and modified date blocks. Okay. So let's do this. Let's add some columns. Let's add a paragraph. Let's add date. And let's add the date block there. Okay, so that's today's date. And yeah, that's fine. And then let's duplicate this. So let's say this is current date. Let's say this is body. modified date. And this will be then the modified date block. Hey, Anne. Anne says, hey, John, so much exciting stuff coming. Feels like a little like Christmas. It does kind of. So the timing is pretty cool, eh? The fact that it's kind of Christmas time. My prompter doesn't seem to be working for some reason. I'm going to try and re-add it and figure out why it's not working. No, my chat prompt is just not working today. I don't know why that is. What if it's going to unplug somewhere offline or something? I lost my screen there. That was the wrong thing. Let's try this one. Let's see if there's something else. I've just knocked over my phone. Okay, that was the teleprompter. Let's see if I can get it back. Ah, there we go. Oh, I know why it didn't work, because I didn't switch it on. Stupid. It's a little button here I've got to switch on every time. There we go. Now I can actually see when people are chatting to me. Just a little test here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry about that, Anne. I missed your message because I didn't have it where I normally have it. Yeah, I guess it doesn't feel a little bit like Christmas. I feel like a lot of things that are coming now are sort of laying the foundation for future things. So yeah, it's always fun to play with these things. I've lost my second column for some reason. I'm going to delete this and do it again. Okay, so let's duplicate the columns. There we go. It's probably because I removed the block. I need to add the modified. Okay, modified date. Okay. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Looks better. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, and then let's add some content. Ooh, the collaboration stuff. Yeah, I need to dive into that at some point. I just haven't had time. But that one I'm really looking forward to, because the moment, and I'm sure you experienced this as well, if you want to work on a post that's going to get published on the WordPress site, it has to be in a Google Doc somewhere first, and then making updates to it is a pain. So that one I am quite excited about. I would agree with you there. Okay. Let's see here now. So the markup is not going to look like this because it's going to be the newer markup. So let's see what the markup looks like. Make this bigger. Okay, so there's the current date, there's the date, post date, date time, all of that. Okay, there we go. Post date metadata. It's using block bindings. It's the core post data modified field. So that is, I guess, what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so let's save that post. Why can't we see? Oh, you can't see what I... Oh, flip. That's no good. Let me try and set... You can... That's interesting. I wonder if... My screen has done this before where it freezes. So let me switch screens. Okay. So let's do that. This happens. There you go. So you should see the GitHub issue now, and this happens when my monitor gets disconnected, which I did myself manually by mistake. So you should now see the screen, and then you should see the GitHub, and I can see that on my side as well. So thanks for pointing that out. Okay, so let's go back to the code editor. So the date block is using datetime as its source, font size set to large. The modified block is using the block binding. It's interesting how it uses post date on both. There's the modified date class. There's the modified field. So now if I save, so let's exit the code editor and let's publish this. And now if I change the publish date to, let's say, Friday. Save that. And let's refresh this. Okay, it doesn't look like the modified state has changed. Let's just have a look at the code. Oh, it's not going to be the... So this one... Oh, there we go. Post date, there we go. So I can change that to the post date and not to the modified date. And then that will always stay with the current modified date, which is whatever today's date is. That's actually kind of cool. You could kind of set that up on your blog posts, and you could update them, and you could show the original, like the original post date and the modified date. I'm actually busy updating a post on my site. This could actually be quite cool for. I'm not sure what the date block did beforehand. I guess it just showed a display type modified. I'd need to go back to post date block changes upon publish. Okay, well that seems to work pretty well. I'm not sure what it did beforehand, but it's doing what I expected to do now. The post date is showing the post date, the modified date is showing whatever the last modified date was. I'm not quite sure the difference between make the date block accept. Oh. So you weren't able to set the date manually by the looks of it. Post date and last modified date variations of the block. So it looks like all of this modified date stuff here was the update. What would be interesting would be to check out what it was like before 6.9. So I'm going to open up this AI experiment site that I have. And I'm going to replicate this functionality in that site and just see what it looks like. So this is a... Oh, blast. This is running 6.9 as well. Okay. Let's quickly create a new site. So we'll just call this WordPress 6.8. And I want it to use the latest version of WordPress because I want to see what this did before. Okay, let's have a look here. Oh, this is... I said latest, didn't I? Now it's giving me very latest. I don't want latest. I wonder if I can change. No, I can't. Can you change the WordPress version? Yes, you can. Excellent. Okay, let's go to 6.8. Save. I thought latest would have been 6.8. Couldn't realize it would give me 6.9. Let's wait for that to finish. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, so that's writing 6.3. So let's go and create the post story again. Let's just add a new post. Let's go tested date blocks. Add some columns again. Set current date. No, what am I doing? Current date. And then just a date block. Okay. Let's duplicate that. And that's modified date. And this needs to change to modified date block. There's modified date. Okay. Let's make these a bit bigger so you can see them. I think I made them large. Large. Okay, let's see what the code looks like. Yeah, so this is display type modified. Okay. Yeah, so that's the difference. I can't. There's only these options here. So default format, link to post, and display last modified date. Those are the settings. Whereas now I have this modified date option up here, and I can transport either post date or modified date. Only shows if the post date has been modified. Interesting. Okay, so that's the difference there. It's using block bindings as a source. I'm not quite sure what the difference is under the hood, to be honest. And he said like independent of the current post publish or last modified. So that sounds like I could. Oh. So what I could do is I could create a custom source that would always return. So that's something I could do programmatically. So let me find. I think it was in 6.7 that you could create custom sources. Let me have a look here. Where's UI? This whole thing about custom sources. That was in the very first one. Yeah, block binding source. Here we go. To buying, queuing, I think this is actually even in the. Hang on, let's have a look at the block bindings documentation. Registering a custom source. Registering a custom source requires defining at least a name, a label, and a callback. Once a source is registered, any supporting blocks, metadating, bindings, attribute can. So what I could do is I could register a custom source, and then I would be able to apply that source to the date block. So let's do that. I think that's how it works. Let's have a look. So let's go into testing 6.9. And let's create a little custom source plugin. So let's say new directory, and let's say custom date source. Start creating a plugin. Custom date source for bindings. And I'll just leave it as version 1. Okay. So then I'm not going to worry about all that exiting and stuff that this code is suggesting. I'm just going to grab this. Let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, so I'm registering a block binding source. So let's call it custom date source. And let's call it, I don't know. What should we make up? Let's say it's, okay, I'm going to call it talk date. So to give you some context, I sometimes will link to blog posts on my blog when I am presenting talks. And that's what I'm going to basically create, the talk date, the date of the talk this is linked to. I'm trying to make it random for now. Custom date source, source logs block instance, post ID, that's fine. If is set source args key, return, blah, blah, blah. Do I need the key? Where's the key? I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to return for now. I'm just going to return a date. So let's just go return. So what you would normally do is you would, for example, store the talk date on the blog post or whatever as a post meta, and then you could return it from there. What I'm just going to do is make up a talk date. So I'm going to say talk date equals, and I spoke at a conference 2 weekends ago, so I'm going to choose that date for now manually. So it was the 8th of November. Okay. So let's go with, oh, here's an interesting point. I wonder what kind of date format that's going to be. Let's just go with this, November 8th. Was it the 8th of November? 2 weekends ago? Where are we now? 18, 17, 16, 15. Yeah, it was 2 weekends ago. So we'll go with this November 18, 2025 and just see what it does. November 8th, 2025. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. And then we'll return the top date. Okay. Theoretically, that should just work. Let's see if that shows up as a source. Okay, let's save the post. Let's go back over here. Just register the plugin. There's my custom date source. Let me make sure that debugging is on. Testing 6.9. Okay, that's on. So, with that in play, let's go back to the post. And now, I should. Oh, doesn't show up. Now, interestingly enough, my colleague Juanma sent me a message I'm going to pull this off screen quickly. Sent me a message earlier today about the date block. So I'm just going to open up Work Slack and just see if his message is related to so he sent me this link. Has support name, return. Set the date block in the block toolbar. Use the pencil icon to set an arbitrary date. Oh, he's saying just the date. Oh, that's what it's doing. It's not a custom source. It's just you can select an arbitrary date. Okay, I missed that. All right. So, for example, let's duplicate that again. So let's say arbitrary date and then modified date. So this we can just replace with a date block. And this I believe you couldn't do before. So you can just go date block. And yeah, let's change this to large. So currently it's choosing today's date. But what I can do is I can select a custom date, the post date or the modified date. If I specify post date, it'll be the post date. That's kind of cool. If I can specify the modified date, it'll be the current modified date. Or if I leave it on the post date, then I can select here and I can change. Oh, but this actually changes the publish date. Interesting. How do I clear? If I can untick post date. No, you can't untick post date once it's ticked. Okay. So let's remove the date block. Let's add it again. But what I can now do is here, before transforming it to a variation, I can select an arbitrary date. So I can say make it November the 1st or November the 8th, or whatever the case may be, which wasn't possible before. Okay. I kind of like that. I think the custom source, I think I did incorrectly. But I need some understanding how these things work. I still kind of like the idea of having this modified date and tying it to the modified date is cool. Being able to have an arbitrary date is cool. I want to see what the code looks like. So that's the first one, that's the modified date, and then that just specifies a specific date time. Okay, cool. All right, so that's block bindings updates coming our way. Can do a whole bunch more with block bindings than what we used to, well, with a date block at least, than we used to be able to before. So that's that one out of the way. Then the image block. Where is it? Help test post. Image block allows binding of the caption. So when saving the image block, include a fig caption element. Bind the caption attribute. Certain image block. Insert markup to update. Insert markup to bind its caption attribute to a block binding source. Interesting. Insert markup to bind its caption attribute to a block binding source. Okay, so that I'm going to have to use This kind of stuff here. Okay. So let's create a custom source for that. Disable this plugin quickly. I'm just going to rename it and call it custom sources, just to make my life a bit easier. So as I mentioned earlier, typically your custom sources would be fetching data from post meta, but I'm going to hard code these values today. So we'll go custom sources. Okay, so let's go custom source, and then we'll say image caption. I'll be right back. Things I forget to do. Okay, so I've got my custom image caption. Why does PHP still have little half-life icons? What's that about? Oh, it's showing the different function. Interesting. What? Oh, it actually, interesting. Actually shows you the anonymous functions. Sorry, I just saw this today. That's crazy. I didn't even notice that previously. Anyway, getting distracted by my own developer tools. Okay, so image block. Okay, insert an image block. In the code editor, update its markup to bind its caption attribute to a source. Switch back to the visual editor and enable its caption. Okay, so let's start. Does this thing have some media? Let's just check here. Yes, got some images. Excellent. Okay. So let's go back to post. Let's go back to plugins and let's enable that custom source. No errors. Good. Go back to posts. Let's go. Testing image bindings. Let's add an image block. Let's add an image. Go birdie. All right. Now, one of the things that I don't currently like about block bindings is that I have to go and edit this to support the caption custom source. It would be cool if there was a way to do this in the editor. But anyway, it is what it is. So in the code editor, I'm going to need to, it's the metadata bindings. blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be bindings, caption, the source, and if there are any arguments, I'm not going to pass in any arguments. So let me grab this, stick it in some JSON quickly. Okay, metadata bindings. We're binding the caption attribute to the custom source. The day we can get to a point where I can do this in the editor would be very cool. I don't need arguments for this thing, so I'm fine to do it like that. And then I'm just going to stick this all on one line. It'll be easier to stick it in the editor eventually. Okay. So that will be the, do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Okay, so let's pop this in here. Sorry, okay. Vec class image. It'll be image ID source. Oh, I need to add the meta to this. Okay, so let's just take all of this out. So we update the right thing. And then I need to add the metadata. Okay. There we go. So once I've updated the metadata, then it says switch back to the visual editor and enable its caption. Okay. Let's hope this works. Ah, look at that. It did work. Okay. So then enable its caption. So I think to enable the caption, we've actually got to select. I think that's all it needs is the caption. And then it actually gets the caption from there. So it's going to return that caption. Okay. So now if we save, publish a post, verify that the image block contains an empty fig caption element. Okay, so let's publish. Let's just see what this does on the front end. Let's view this post and let's inspect. I don't know where it's supposed to be. Reload and switch to the code to verify the image block contains an empty fig caption element. Okay, let's see. Saw image caption there. I'm not seeing the image caption element. I'm not seeing that fig caption element. Interesting. I wonder if this is because I'm doing a custom source in PHP. I wonder if my custom source needs to do something different for this to work. So one of two things is happening. Either I'm registering my custom source incorrectly, or the guys testing this are using a JavaScript custom source, which is done like this. Get value callback should return. Yeah. That's what I want. Instance source, no. Callback function, how to get the value from the source and pass it to a block attribute. Any block that supports can get value by setting its binding attribute to value. Bindings. Metadata, bindings, content. But that needs to be caption. Filter the callback presented in the description. Okay, I'm going to need to do some digging around this because I'm not sure why this doesn't work. Custom field. Okay, I'm going to make a note around that one and follow up. before I get too much into the weeds. I feel like there could be something I'm doing wrong. I'm not 100% sure myself. So let's get image caption PHP source. Okay, let's move on. I definitely didn't. It's definitely returning this, but I feel like it's doing it in the wrong place. It's definitely hooking up the caption on the image to the custom source. Bindings, caption. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some more digging on that one. I'm not sure myself. I'll see if that's a bug or if I'm just being dumb. Okay, let's move on to something else. The other thing that I was looking through was, where is it now? There's some block bindings improvements in WordPress 6.9. So there's a filter block binding supported attributes by block type. Let's have a look in the code what that does. So that will give you the supported block attributes. Okay. So it used to just be the block binding supported attributes by block type. Now you can actually specify by block type. So for example, if we did something like this, let's do this. Let's say filter. No, where did it come from? And block type would be what? I think it's called. Yeah. That's probably something that's going to need to get. Let's find the other one. Oh, there's no reference for it. That seems weird. Okay. Oh, this is 6.9. Stupid. This is all 6.9. Okay, so let's say core image. The blocked. Just see something here. Don't do this in the real world, folks, but I'm just gonna log something to the error log because I want to see what the block type would be. Post, code editor, refresh. No, that's fine. Oh, it's because there's nonsense going on. Okay, let's see. Okay, so okay, it's just. So let's go with core image, for example. Okay. Will be supported block attributes. Okay. Clear the log. So now if I refresh this, this will give me the supported attributes for the image block, which is an array. There we go. ID, URL, title, alt, caption. Okay. So, not sure why that does that, but it's there. Allows developers to customize which of the block's attributes can be connected. I'm guessing you can't add. Maybe you can. Maybe you can add. But it wouldn't actually do anything. You would need to actually then do something with it. But that's anyway what that does. Developers can now register custom sources in the editor UI by adding a get fields list method to the source registration function. This function must return an array of objects with the following properties: label, type, arguments. This is an example that can be tried directly in the console from the block editor. Okay, so it looks like we can just copy this code and this stuff will show up. So let's see if that works. So let's go to a post. So let's go test custom test. What's it called? Custom sources field list. Don't know why Stream Elements suddenly posted that, but okay. So let's open up the developer tools and let's paste this in. Okay, so it's called state word haikus, blah blah blah. Gets values. If it's haiku, all these kind of things, then it returns information. So let's run that. And now if we go paragraph, now fonts maybe, they're attributes. So we can select the content attribute. And then from there, we can select haikus. Oh, there's little pop-ups. That's kind of good. And then when you select it, it actually returns it and pops it in there. Now this is kind of cool if you want to have sort of predefined content for different blocks or predefined elements. You could have, maybe for your image block, you could have different images loaded. Obviously this looks like it only supports the front-end UI. So you'd probably need to register the source in JavaScript and then hook up the fields list. I feel like that's probably what's happening with the image caption as well. I need to register it in JavaScript. So that might be something to play with next week. Maybe next week I'll actually try and see if the custom sources work in JavaScript. Like I'll put together a plugin that loads up some JavaScript in the editor. Maybe does the caption for the image, maybe puts in some content. That could be a fun little project to actually create something with all of this. So I'll have a little think about it. I quite like all of this. It does work. It does do what it needs to do, which is cool. I will admit I don't spend enough time with block bindings to really get into the weeds of this, so I probably should do a full live stream next week where I actually use some of this stuff. So I'm thinking, let's think about I wonder if there's a way we could use this code to register some like image captions that the user could select from as like a list of custom sources. That could be an interesting little project. So custom image caption source. Caption source enable, it returns, it supports custom fields. That could be fun. And I could use this kind of stuff. I think that's what I'm going to do next week, is I'm going to play with that. So anyway, check out all those things. This seems to be the main tracking issue for all the block bindings UI stuff. So I will share all of these links that I have here. Pop this one in as well in the description when I upload this to YouTube, so if you want to catch those there. And then this is the block binding improvements dev note. So check that out. That's probably where most information is. What I do wish block bindings had, I wish there was a way, for example, when I added the image. And I think this is possible. I just can't remember how, because it's been a while since I've done this, but I'd love it if I could like enable attributes and then on the image block, I wonder. Let's just delete this quickly. I want to see something. Okay, let me just hang on a second. I'm going to sneeze again, maybe, or yawn. Happens every time. I feel like I'm going to sneeze and then I yawn. It's so annoying. Now you see, that's interesting. So when I add a paragraph, there's no attributes option. But where is it now? With this stuff, I can basically where does the fields list hook into things? Oh, I apply it to the custom source. What confuses me about this is theoretically, this source here, how does it know to apply to paragraphs? Would it work on headings as well if I run that code? Let's have a look. Yes, indeed it would. It would. So the source seems to... Let's go back to the documentation. The one thing that confuses me is how do you... It seems to be at the moment that if you register a source, it's just available to anything that supports. I mean, is that true? If I... What does this look like now? Okay, if I bind it to that, what does it do? Okay, then what does the code look like? See, then it updates. Bindings content. So is it because it returns bindings content to the... That's the part that confuses me. Like how could I change this, for example, to work with, let's say, which one? Let's say the button text. Would that just work? Oh, it'll just work. It's an available source, and anything that you can bind it to, it'll just work. That's interesting. So there's no like so would I be able to add that to the image caption? Let's go image media library. No, that wouldn't work. What if I... Hang on. What if I did that? And then in the editor for the image, it's the metadata. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Metadata. Okay. that work? No. Okay, so what if I save this, refresh, run this again, and then click on the image? No, still not. Okay, I need to dive into the image thing first. I was hoping it would just work on the image caption or something. So it looks like when you register a custom source, what I don't understand is why my image, I think if it's in PHP, you need to actually specify what it's hooked into or something. I'm not sure. I'll need to dig into that. Okay. I need to build something that actually, I need to go back and find my notes and build something that loads some JavaScript code in the editor that I can play with this, because I don't like sitting playing with it in DevTools. Kind of wrap my head around this. But I like the fact that we're getting to a point where we can just select the block, have the custom sources, select from the custom sources, it automatically changes things. That's a very cool experience. So yeah, check it out. See what you can figure out. I still haven't. Can I update the haiku? Yeah, I can. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Oh, that's just returning first haiku, second haiku. Interesting. So I wonder why that does that. Oh, if... Interesting. So all of this means it assumes it's on a paragraph. Otherwise, it just returns the content. So that's getting the title. So you could, for example, have... It's also working on a header though, because header supports content. I still need to wrap my head around all this. But that's what I'm going to call it today, folks. So check out those blog posts and things. Check out block bindings. I still need to sort of unpack it in my head properly and kind of build something. Like what I would like to see is I have a custom source. I add one of the blocks that supports a custom source, and then I can select from there, depending on what's supported. So I'm gonna have a little bit more of a play with this, try and build something with it so I can understand it. But that's me for today. Hope you've enjoyed my fumbling around, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.